Salvete omnes. This is Abbey Latin Liber Primus, Chapter 16. This is Exercise A of Chapter 16. We are to fill in the following verb synopses. Number 1, porto in the first person singular. So we are to give the forms of porto in the first person singular in the active voice, present, imperfect, future, perfect, pluperfect, future perfect, and in the passive voice, present, imperfect, future, perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, along with the English translations for the active voice and also for the passive voice, including imperatives. First things first, before you do anything, first step, principal parts. You have to know the principal parts. Always know the principal parts. Porto, portare, portavi, portatus, to carry. For the present tense, for the present imperfect and future, we're going to use the present stem. Second principal part, chop off the RE. However, we're dealing with a first person singular. So the first principal part, porto, serves the only purpose of being the present tense, first person singular. Porto. I carry. I am carrying. I am doing the action right now. I, subject, am doing it with the personal ending o, porto. To make passive, to make the present tense passive voice, first person singular, you add the r, the r of the personal ending, to the first principal part. So porto becomes portor. I am carried. I am being carried. It's happening right now in the present tense, and it's happening to me. I am being carried. I'm not doing the carrying. The carrying is happening to me. For the imperfect, now we are going to jump to that present stem. Porta, add the ba, and then the of the personal endings for the active voice. We get portabam, portabam. Now, we translate that. I was carrying. I used to carry. I, first person singular, was doing the action. For the passive, we have the same stem, porta, with the same tense marker, ba. We're just going to exchange the first person singular active personal ending, with the passive ra, with the r. So portabam becomes portabar. I was being carried. I used to be carried. The being is important, Ben. Future. Future tense, active voice. We have the present stem porta, and then add bo. Bo bis bit. Bimus bitis bunt. Portabo. I will carry. I shall carry. I will do the action. I will be carried, so the passive voice, we just add the r, the r of the personal ending in the passive voice to the first person singular future. Portabo becomes portabor. I will be carried. I shall be carried. For the perfect, the pluperfect, and the future perfect active voice, we go to the verb's third principal part and chop off the I to get to the perfect stem. So portav, portav, and portav are the stems for these guys. And then you add the appropriate active voice personal endings for the perfect, pluperfect, future perfect. Don't forget the tense markers. Now for the passive voice, for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, we go to the fourth principal part, portatus. Treat it like an adjective and ending in us, so portatus and then each will have a helping verb, a form of sum. The perfect will use the present of sum, the pluperfect will use the imperfect of sum, and the future perfect will use the future of sum. So we'll start with the perfect active. Portavi, Third principal part, chop off the I. Porta was the stem. Add the E of the ending. E isti it. Imus istis erunt. The letter I. E. Portavi. I carried. I have carried. I did the thing in the past. And once, only once, snap of the fingers. Not repeatedly like the imperfect. For the passive, fourth principal part, portatus a and then the present of sum is the helping verb. So sum est, sumus est sunt. We want sum. Portatus a sum. Remember, this part must agree with whatever was carried, in this case I, in gender numbering case. I was carried. I have been carried. So masculine would say portatus sum, feminine would say portata sum, and neuter would say portatum sum. For the pluperfect active, perfect stem portab, and then add eram, which is found by the tense marker era, and then adding the of the first person singular personal ending. Portaveram, I had carried. For the passive, it's the fourth principal part, portatus a with a helping verb, a form of sum, and we use the imperfect of sum as the helping verb for the pluperfect passive. So portatus a eram. Remember, the imperfect forms of sum are eram, eras, erat, eramus, eratis, erat. So portatus a eram. Remember, it will agree as an adjective with whatever had been carried. So portatus eram would be I, masculine person, had been carried. Portata eram, she, as an I, masculine person, had been carried, feminine. And then portatum eram, I, neuter thing, had been carried. Future perfect, portavero, perfect stem portav plus ero, portavero. The endings for the future perfect are ero, eris, eret, erimus, eritis, erint. I will have carried. For the passive, portatus a and then we use the future of sum as a helping verb. Ero, eris, eret, erimus, eritis, erunt, with a unt in the third plural, erunt. But because this is first plural, we're doing ero. Portatus a ero. I will have been carried. Optime, that's the indicative. For the imperative singular, the command singular form, is the same as the present stem, porta. Carry, come on you person singular, thou, tu, carry, second person singular. Remember, all imperatives, for now, are second person, either singular or plural. For the passive singular imperative is the same as the second principal part. So the present active infinitive, portare. Portare. Context will tell you which one is which. Be carried. Come on, you. Hurry up, get carried. The imperative plural adds the te to the singular, so portate. Carry ye. Come on, y'all. Do it. Let's go. Carry. Imperative plural. You're actively doing the thing. So passive, ordering someone to passively get carried. Portamini. Portamini. Be carried, ye. The form is the same as the second person plural, present passive indicative. Portamini. So we'll end in mini. Optime. Very well done. Look at all that. So much learning. Number 2, retineo in the second person singular. First, before you do anything, principal parts. Retineo, retinere, retinui, retentus. Second person singular. So there will be a lot of yous, thous, second person singular. The present, imperfect, and future Active and passive use the present stem, which is second principal part, chop off the RE, retine. So write retine, 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 and retine. Then we add the appropriate endings and tense markers. Second person singular, in the active voice, we use an S. O-S-T, muss, tis, und. So S. Retines, you hold back. You are holding back. The passive, we use the passive personal endings. We have restor, more, many, untor. So ris, where the active has an S, retines. The passive has a ris, retineris. You are being held back. You are held back. Retineris, retine plus ris. Imperfect adds the ba. Retine bas. Retine bas. You were holding back. You used to hold back. Retine stem, add the ba, and then the ris for the passive. Retine baris. You were being held back. You kept being held back. The future active, retine, is the stem plus the tense marker be plus the s. Retinebis, you will hold back. And the passive, retine, careful it's not biris, B-I-R-I-S, biris, but it's beris, B, letter E, R-I-S, retine beris. You will be held back. The perfect, the pluperfect, and the future perfect active come from the perfect stem. Third principal part, chop off the I. Then you add appropriate tense markers and endings. The perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect passive are formed from the fourth principal part, treated as an adjective ending in us, to reflect the subject of who is held back, who was held back. And then these need an appropriate helping verb, a form of the verb sum, to complete them. The perfect passive uses the present of sum, the pluperfect passive uses the imperfect of sum, and the future perfect passive uses the future of sum as helping verbs. So, retinuisti. Retinuisti is the second person singular perfect active. Retinu plus isti. Isti it. Imus istis erunt isti. You held back. You have held back. The passive, retentus and then s, es, sum, es est, sumus est sunt, the present of sum. Retentus es, retenta es, retentum es, for all three genders. You were held back. You have been held back. Remember, it's singular. Thou hast been held back. Pluperfect active. Retinu is the perfect stem plus era plus s. Retinueras. You had held back. Actively, you had done it. The passive, retentus eras. The helping verb is eras, the second person singular imperfect of sum. Eram, eras, erat. Eramus, eratus, erat. So retentus eras. Retentus eras, retenta eras, retentum eras. You had been held back. The future perfect active is retinu plus eris, retinueris. You will have held back. You will have done the thing. Then the passive uses the fourth principal part, retentus and then the helping verb is eris. The future of sum is ero, eris, erit, eremus, eretis, erunt, and it is the helping verb for the future perfect passive. And we want the second singular, eris. Retentus eris. You will have been held back. The imperative singular is retine. Hold back. Come on, you, do so. The passive is the same as the second principal part, retinere. Be held back. Come on, get held back. The imperative plural takes the singular, retine, adds te, retinete. Hold back, y'all. Hold back, ye. And the passive is the same, the plural, imperative plural passive is the same as the second plural present passive indicative ending mini, retinemini. Be held back, y'all. Be held back, ye. Optime. Keep in mind that retineo, retinere, retinui, retentus. You have to know the principal parts. And also it's a second conjugation. The first principal part ends in eo. Second ends in a long e, re, ere. It doesn't form its passive voice any differently from the first conjugation. They had the same tense markers, they had the same endings in the active and passive, the same personal endings. There is no difference between the way you conjugate a first and second conjugation in the active and passive. It's just that they have slightly different looking principal parts. Number 3, do, dare, dedi, datus, the third person singular. Make sure you know the principal parts are do, dare, dedi, datus. It's a first conjugation. Third person singular, a lot of he, she's, and itses doing it. So present, the present imperfect and future active voice, present stem, go to the second principal part and chop off the re. The present stem is da. We write da as the stem for the present, the imperfect, and the future active voice. We use the same stem in the passive voice for the present, imperfect, and future. So go ahead and write da in those 3 blanks as well. Now we're ready to work. We just add endings. Third person singular in the active uses the letter T, O-S-T, mustis unt, so t. And the passive has the endings restur, mur, mini, untur, so a lot of tours. T and tur. Dot, he, she, it gives, he, she, it is giving. Datur, he, she, it is given, he, she, it is being given. The imperfect active is dabat, add the ba between the stem and the personal ending, dabat. He, she, it was giving, he, she, it used to give. The passive uses the same stem da, plus the imperfect tense marker ba, just the personal ending tur to indicate it's passive. Dabatur, he, she, it was being given, used to be given. Future, dabit, he, she, it will give, he, she, it will give. Then the passive, dabitur, he, she, it will be given. The perfect active, well, the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect active voice use the perfect stem. Third principal part, chop off the I. Third principal part is dedi. When you chop off the I, you get dead. D-E-D, dead, as the stem for the perfect, the pluperfect, and the future perfect active voice. For the passive, we use the fourth principal part, datus. Treat it like an adjective of the first and second declension. Datus aum, and datus aum as the base for the perfect, the pluperfect, the future perfect. What changes is what helping verb we use, what form of sum. The perfect passive uses the present of sum, the pluperfect passive uses the imperfect of sum, and the future perfect passive uses the future of sum. So we have dedit, he, she, it gave, he, she, it has given. And then the passive is datus aum est, which stands in for datus est, data est, and datum est, one for each of the three genders. He, she, it has been given. He, she, it was given. The he was given would be datus est. The she was given would be data est. And the it was given would be datum est. The endings reflect the gender of what was given. The pluperfect active, dederat, because it's third person singular, dederat. He, she, it had given. And then the passive uses datus aum, and the helping verb is erat. So datus erat for he had been given, data erat for she had been given, and datum erat for it had been given. For the future perfect active, we use the perfect stem ded and then erit, dederit. He, she, it will have given. And the passive datus aum, and then the helping verb is erit. So he will have been given would be datus erit. She will have been given would be data erit. And it will have been given would be datum erit. For the imperatives, the singular is the same as the present stem da. Give, thou, give, come on you guy, give, singular. The passive singular imperative is the same as the second principal part, dare. Be given, you singular, be given. Come on, get moving. The imperative plural takes the singular, da, adds te, date. Be given, ye. Come on, y'all. I'm sorry, no, give, active voice. Give, y'all. The passive, domini, stem is da ad mini. It's the same form as the second plural present passive indicative. Context will tell you which is right. Domini. Be given, y'all. Come on. Get given. Do it. Number 4, moneo, first person plural. It's a second conjugation. Make sure you know them principal parts. Moneo, monere, monui, monitus. So, second conjugation, treated no differently than a first conjugation. Present stem is found the same way, by chopping the re off the second principal part, mone. Perfect stem, chop the I off the third principal part, monu. And then we use the fourth principal part, monitus, for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect passive, monitus aum. So the present stem is used in the present imperfect and future active, mone, and in the passive, mone. We use the perfect stem only in the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect active, monu. And then fourth principal part. Now be careful. First person plural. If our person is plural, then you're going to treat that fourth principal part plural as well. So moniti, I, ah. Moniti with the letter I for masculine plural. Remember, us changes the letter I in the plural. Us becomes E. And then monitai with an AE pronounced I, the plural of monita. Becomes I in the plural. And then monitum will become like neuter, monita in the plural, because it has to reflect a plural subject in the masculine, moniti, feminine, monitai, or neuter, monita. All right, let's get to it. Mone plus mus, monemus, we warn, we advise. We're doing it. Passive, monemur. The active voice endings are ost, mustes sunt. Passive, arestur, mor meniuntur. Monemur, we are being warned, we are advised. Imperfect, monebamos. We were being warned. We used to be advised. Sorry, we used to advise. It's active voice. We used to warn. We used to advise. We kept on advising. Passive, monebamor. We were being warned. We used to be advised. Passive voice. Future, monebimus. Monebimus. We will warn. We shall advise. Monebimor. Passive, monebimor. We shall be warned. We shall be advised. Perfect active uses perfect stem monu plus the first plural perfect ending. We have e, isti, it. Imus is the ending we want. Istis erunt. Monuimus. We warned. We have warned. Now, carefully. Perfect passive. It's a plural. It's a plural. Moniti I sumus. Sumus. Remember, it's plural. Sum ss sumus estis sunt. Moniti I sumus. We were warned. We have been warned. Where each of the genders reflect the subject. Moniti sumus would be we masculine dudes have been warned. Monetai sumus would be we feminine dudettes have been warned. And then moneta sumus, we neitherets were warned, because it's neuter. Pluperfect active. Monu eramus, perfect stem, monu eramus. We had warned. And then the pluperfect passive, moniti I eramus. We had been warned. Future perfect, monu eremus. So perfect stem, monu, and then eremus for the future perfect active. We will have warned. And then for the passive, moniti I eremus. We will have been warned. For the imperatives, we have mone, present stem, warn, singular, warn. For the passive, monere, same as the second principal part, monere, be warned, get warned, ye, do it. Or singular, get warned, you dude, do it. For the imperative plural, now we're on the plural, add te to the singular imperative active to get the plural imperative active. Monete. Warn ye. Come on, y'all. Advise. And the passive, plural passive, is the same as the second plural present passive indicative. Monemini. Be warned, you guys. Get warned, y'all. Do it. Optime. 5. Supero. Make sure you know those principal parts. Supero, superare, superavi, superatus. In the second person plural. To overcome, to defeat, to surpass. So present stem will be used in the present imperfect future, active voice, and passive voice. So second principal part, chop off the RE. You can write supera here, 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 and here. Perfect stem, superav. Third principal part, chop off the I, superav. That goes only here, here, and here in the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect. Active voice only. While the passive uses the fourth principal part, superatus aum, and treat it like an adjective at the first and second declension. So be warned, if you have a plural person, then this will turn plural to reflect that. Superatus aum will become the plural superati a. Here we go, second person plural. Y'all, ye are doing things. Y'all, the action's happening to you now in the passive voice. So present active, superatis. Ye overcome, defeat, surpass. Ye are doing it right now. Passive, superamini. We're exchanging the active voice personal endings ost, mus, tis, und, the tis, for the passive restur, more, mini ending, untor. Superamini. Ye are being overcome. Ye are being defeated right now. It's happening right now in the passive to you. Imperfect. Superabatis. Ye were surpassing. Ye used to defeat. Superabomini. Ye were being defeated. Ye used to be overcome. The future active. Superabitis. Ye will defeat. Ye will overcome. Superabimini. Ye will be defeated. Ye will be overcome. The perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, that uses the perfect stem, third principal part, chop off the I. So, superavistis, I istiit, imus istis eram, superavistis, ye defeated, overcome, surpassed. The passive, fourth principal part, make sure it's plural, superati, I, and then the helping verb is estis, the present of sum. Sum est, sumus estis sunt. Superati estis. For ye were defeated. Ye have been defeated. Pluperfect active. Superaveratis. Ye had defeated. The passive. Superati eratis. Ye had been defeated. Future perfect active, superaveritis. Superaveritis. Ye will have defeated. Then the passive, superati eritis. Ye will have been defeated. Ye will have been surpassed. The imperative active singular, supera, same as the present stem. Defeat, comma, you, me, yes, you, thou, too, defeat, overcome, surpass. In the passive, same as the second principal part, superare, be defeated, get overcome, do it, you, singular person, you. In the plural, take the singular imperative and add te, superate. Overcome, ye. Defeat, y'all. Come on, you. Come on, y'all, do it. And the passive, superamini. Superamini, the same as the present tense passive. Superamini. So context will tell you whether it is you are being overcome or get overcome, ye. Come on, you guys. Let's do it. Chop, chop. And 6. Video. Make sure third person plural. You know the principal parts. Video, videre, vidi, visus. They are doing the scene. In the passive, they are seen to be something. We could also translate it as the active voice. They seem to be away. If you are seen to be away, you seem to be that way. So it's a second conjugation. You can tell by the eo, ere, ios. Present stem is vide. Chop the re off the second principal part. Perfect stem is weed. Chop the I off the third principal part. And then we're going to use the supine, the fourth principal part, visus, the participial stem, for the perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect, passive only. It'll be plural to agree with whatever was seen or what seemed to be. So visus will become visi I. The present active, we'll start with the present active, vident. end. We're changing the active voice personal endings, ost, mustis, unt, with the passive rarestor, more, many, untor. So we dent, they see. We dentor, they are seen, or they are being seen, or they seem with an M. The imperfect, we debant, they were seen, they used to see. Passive, we debantor, they were being seen, or they were seeming. The future active, videbunt, they will see. Passive, videbuntur, they will be seen, or they will seem. The perfect, pluperfect, and future perfect active use the perfect stem vid. So istiit, imus istis, erunt are the endings for the perfect tense. We want the third plural, erunt. Viderunt, they saw, they have seen. The passive will be we see, sunt. The third plural present of sum is the helping verb. We see, sunt. They were seen, they have been seen. The pluperfect, we derant, they had seen. Passive, we see, erant, they had been seen, or they had seemed. The future perfect, we'd errant, errant, E-R-I-N-T, we'd they will have seen. The passive would be we see erunt, E-R-U-N-T is the helping verb, erunt, that's the future of some. They will have been seen. They will have seemed. For the imperatives, we have we day, see, you singular, see. For the passive, we dare, be seen. Come on, you person singular, be seen. For the imperative plural, we dete, see, ye. Come on, y'all, see. We damini, the second person plural. We damini, same as the present tense second person plural, mini ending. We damini, be seen, y'all, or seem, y'all. Come on, y'all, seem, be seen. How mysterious. Optime, very well done. That concludes exercise A. You are now ready to move on to chapter 16's exercise B. Volete omnes.